So, if you suffer from misophonia, you've probably wondered, can the massive internet trend of ASMR actually help? I mean, we see these claims absolutely everywhere, right? People swearing that certain sounds will just instantly soothe your nervous system. But, when it comes to true sound sensitivity, the reality is a whole lot more nuanced than a catchy TikTok. Welcome to today's explainer. We're going to unpack the actual science here and outline a very specific, highly practical green, yellow, and red sound routine to help you safely navigate your auditory world.
Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and address this myth right away. Can ASMR cure your misophonia? The safest, most scientifically grounded answer is simply no. It is not a cure. Now, don't get me wrong, while it might absolutely help some of us build safe, predictable sound routines, we really shouldn't treat it as a guaranteed, standalone medical treatment. Think of it like a tool, and like literally any tool, it can cause harm if you don't use it right.
All right, here is exactly what we're going to cover today. We'll start with the ASMR misophonia myths, then we'll define true misophonia, look at why uncontrolled exposure backfires, break down green, yellow, and red sounds, build a safe routine, and finally wrap up with safety before sound.
Okay, Section 1, the ASMR misophonia myth. Let's talk about how the internet blurs the lines. You see, online creators often blur the lines between simple relaxation and actual medical treatment. But a recent massive systematic review by Mattson and colleagues in 2023 kind of hit the nail on the head. They found that treatments for misophonia, even things like cognitive behavioral therapy, are still in their early stages. The evidence base is young, there is no universally proven protocol out there yet, and there's definitely no magic fix. So anyone selling you a sound file as a guaranteed cure, yeah, they are simply not aligned with current clinical science. Moving on to Section 2, defining true misophonia, because to understand why ASMR isn't a simple cure, we need to know what we're actually dealing with. Clinically speaking, based on consensus work from Swedo and colleagues, misophonia isn't just a preference. It's not just being bugged by a noise. It is a profound, involuntary, decreased tolerance to specific sounds and related cues. It's this intense reaction that completely hijacks your nervous system. And the contrast here is pretty stark. Think about it. Ordinary annoyance just makes you roll your eyes, right? But misophonia distress, that triggers a full-blown fight or flight response. We're talking sudden anger, deep disgust, severe anxiety, extreme body tension, or this frantic, urgent need to literally escape the room. All right, Section 3, why uncontrolled exposure backfires. Let's explore why blindly jumping into triggers is a bad idea. Because misophonia involves such specific triggers, popping on the wrong ASMR audio can be the exact opposite of relaxing. I mean, think about typical ASMR content for a second. Loud, wet chewing, mouth sounds, or someone whispering directly into a microphone. While that might lull one viewer into a deep sleep, it could completely overwhelm and distress someone with misophonia. So the absolutely crucial point here is this. Harmful exposure is characterized by being sudden, forced, or overly intense. If you're putting on headphones and forcing yourself to listen to your worst triggers, just hoping you'll quote-unquote get used to it, you are playing a really dangerous game with your nervous system. You aren't curing your sensitivity. Honestly, you're probably just traumatizing yourself further. But hey, it is not all bad news. Poerio's 2018 research shows that when a sound actually feels safe to the listener, ASMR can genuinely lower your heart rate and improve your emotional state. This relaxation mechanism is key. It means finding the right sounds can help you create a calm, regulated baseline before you have to go out into difficult, noisy environments. Which brings us perfectly to Section 4, green, yellow, and red sounds. Let's see how this builds into an empowering visual system. This framework right here, it's a total game changer. We can categorize sounds exactly like a traffic light to regain control. Green sounds are pleasant or entirely neutral. Think the steady hum of rain, low brown noise, or the gentle rustling of fabric. Yellow sounds, well, they're mildly uncomfortable. They cause a bit of tolerable irritation, but they don't send you into a panic. And finally, red sounds. These are your major triggers. These cause strong, immediate distress and that intense fight or flight response. So when managing misophonia with sound therapy, the rule is simple. You completely avoid the red, you occasionally observe the yellow, but you live and heal in the green. Let's put this into practice in Section 5, building a safe routine. Let's dive into our ASMR-informed protocol. Here are the 6 exact steps to follow to ensure you are protecting your nervous system while safely engaging with sound. Once you've listed out your sounds into those traffic light categories, step 2 is vital.
You have to start with green sounds. Never, ever start with red. Begin with something incredibly safe, like distant ambient rain. And step 3, keep it brief. Just 5 minutes. We aren't testing your endurance here. You are gently teaching your brain that sound doesn't always equal threat. Predictability is the goal.
Step 4 is all about pairing the sound with physical regulation. While you're listening to your 5 minutes of green sound, actively calm your body. Go ahead and unclench your jaw right now. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Breathe out just a little longer than you breathe in. That actually signals safety to your nervous system. The goal here is to let the sound just stay in the background. Don't force yourself to intensely focus on it, and don't force yourself to love it. Just let it exist while your body stays relaxed.
And that brings us to step 5. If irritation rises quickly, just pause. Remember this vital truth. Stopping early is not a failure. It is simply nervous system data. Your body is communicating with you, and listening to that data is a smart, protective decision. And for step 6, use these green sounds for recovery. After a stressful day of unavoidable red sounds at the office or at school, use your green sounds to bring your baseline back down. Finally, section 6, safety before sound, the ultimate boundaries of this routine.
Look, the objective here is not to magically make your misophonia vanish forever. That's an unrealistic expectation that's just going to lead to frustration. Instead, the true goals are to give you more choices in your daily life, to introduce more calm sounds into your day, to build predictable routines that you control, and ultimately, to experience less fear and anxiety when navigating different environments. And we really must be crystal clear on this point. If your sound sensitivity is severe, if it's affecting your relationships, your ability to work, your schooling, or your mental health, please seek out a qualified professional. ASMR and green sound routines are fantastic, complementary wellness tools, but they shouldn't carry the whole burden of your treatment. Sound can only heal when it feels safe, and sometimes creating that safety requires professional clinical guidance.
So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to help you start your own routine right now. Think about your day-to-day life. What sounds are green, yellow, and red for you? Grab a pen today, map out your triggers, prioritize your safety, and start taking back control of your auditory